What's going on? It's Trending Story. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more well informed, make sure to subscribe and active the notifications bell so you don't miss anything.
In fairy tales and the arts, wolves are usually depicted as the bad guys, as an exhibition in Cologne shows. Wolf researcher Peter Surth hopes that people's attitudes toward the wild animals will change. Sometimes, the veil between species is pierced, and it is a very beautiful thing. Life's strong, biologically driven sense of individual preservation, common to all species, gives way under extreme circumstances. As a last result, we overcome our fear and ask for help when there is no other option left. One exquisitely touching example of this is in the accompanying video. 4 wild young deer, exhausted by swimming across the icy waters of Stevens Passage off the coast of Alaska, see a boat, swim towards it, and essentially ask for help from humans, which is gladly given. The villagers began to be afraid to go to the forest, and all because a wolf appeared there. Fortunately, he did not harm anyone, but he scared him decently. She seemed not dangerous, but on the contrary asks for help. Everyone remembers the fairy tale about the gray wolf, which we were told in childhood. So who is the wolf really? An image from a fairy tale or a dangerous animal? The common wolf is a large predator of the Canidae family. The gray wolf is the master of the tundra and taiga, a hardy and very intelligent animal. In this article, you will find a description and a photo of a wolf. You will learn a lot of interesting things about the harsh life of this formidable predator. The story took place about 8 years ago in the south of the Urals, and precisely in a small quiet village where there were not many wild animals, especially wolves, so the village residents had never found a wolf before. The village, which is overlooked by a small forest, has never been entered by any predators. The hunters in this village are content with hunting birds and some types of hares, while they avoid shooting rare animals such as deer, bears, and others. One day, in the spring season, a female wolf came to the village, and the female was walking in the middle of the village without feeling anxious, although it is known to everyone that such animals flee as soon as they see a person, and they were wandering around the streets of the village amid the eyes of the residents. This wolf seemed exhausted and sick at first, as she was not afraid that someone would attack and kill her, but she was walking calmly. One day, the wolf went to the forester's fence and sat down near the gate. The man realized that it was a wolf, not a dog, and he thought about it and brought her some frozen meat. He threw it over the fence and began to watch. She took the meat and went into the forest. A day later, everything was repeated. The she-wolf came to the forester and he fed her. There was a group of village youth following the wolf and trying to attack her, thinking that she had come to the village to steal something, but eventually they discovered that she was sick, and he was walking with difficulty and in need of help. She looked very tired. All this made the villagers pity her. The female wolf collapsed and fell to the ground and was no longer able to stand, which made the young men retreat to approach her in order to take her. But they refused to help her and left the place. The same thing happened with the rest of the villagers, as they were all watching her without anyone coming and offering her a hand because she was dying. This behavior is unusual for wolves. They usually live in their territory and hunt it. This is good for humans because they ward off other predators, but wolves come to people only because of severe hunger. Local residents scolded the forester for welcoming a she-wolf. Everyone was afraid that she might harm them, but he paid no attention to them and continued to feed her. The friendship between the she-wolf and the forester lasted for several weeks, and then she disappeared. She was gone for 2 months, and unexpectedly for the man, she again reappeared near his house, but not one, but with 3 cubs. The wolf was forced to sleep on the side of the road inside the village to take a rest after she became tired and sick. The residents of the village were all wary of this wolf even though it was sleeping, as they made sure that their children got inside the house, and they avoided passing the road on which it was lying. The wolf was dying, but the intervention of a village hunter at the last moment prevented it. The man felt pity for that poor animal who was fighting death alone. The man approached the wolf cautiously, offered her food and water, then quickly retreated and left. Moments later, the man returned to the same place to check on the wolf, but he found that she had left the place and took food with her. 2 days later, the wolf appeared again. She did not leave for the forest, but rather returned to the same place and waited for that man to return. Although the wolf showed some improvement after eating and drinking, it was not in good health as it was still suffering. Perhaps she's getting more food to be able to walk. The wolf kept visiting the village constantly, as it used to come in once or twice a day to eat what the man offered it and then return to the forest with some food, which is what the man did not understand. And after the village residents made sure that the wolf was peaceful, they started dealing with it like their animal's pet. Days passed and the wolf did not appear as usual, so her absence lasted for a full 3 weeks. The villagers thought that the humans might have killed the wolf. Everyone loves a wolf female and is impatiently waiting for her return. One night, people heard the howling of a wolf coming from afar, and when they went out into the street, they found that the wolf was coming towards them. The wolf did not come to visit them alone, but rather brought her 3 young children with her. The wolf recognized the man who saved her life at first sight, even though he was among a large number of villagers, and she kept looking at him as if she was saying, "Thank you so much for everything you did to me." After that, the wolf took its young and disappeared into the woods, never returning to the village. The man discovered that the wolf used to take that food to its young children in the forest because the forest was small and there were no sources of food, and the wolf did not find a solution to feed its young children except to go to the village and seek help from people, which is what she got. To leave that little forest after making sure that her children had grown up and were able to bear the hardships of travel. Finally, the villagers felt intense remorse for the way they treated the wolf in the beginning. There was such a pull of goodwill towards animals. You see it in many ways, including the increasingly acceptable concept of animal rights. There was a front page article in the New York Times Sunday magazine recently called, "Should a Chimp Be Able to Sue Its Owner?" There are all the animal videos going around that are so popular. Are we hearing them? Is there a way to pull all this good energy and growing awareness together in a way that works to save animals? And in my opinion, save us with them. I dream of a beautiful partnership where we lead in a way that only we humans can, with our intelligence and capacity to look to future consequences, and where animals lead and help us only they can, helping connect us to our hearts and to the larger circle of life. History looks back at thousands of years of conflict and coexistence between wolves and humans. I find it particularly fascinating that wolves live in social systems that are similar to those of humans. Of course, there are various conflicts, and they shouldn't be sugar-coated. Mankind has repeatedly annihilated wild animals in the past, and yet we still tend to think, here's an animal that bothers us, it needs to go so we can live in peace. That's the wrong attitude. We should rather be shaping our coexistence. After all, we inhabit this world together.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.